Now on BBC Two, time to investigate the cause of Luca's travel sickness.
Intergalactic garbage retrieval craft number 60022, known around the galaxy as Space Ark, finds itself by mistake in orbit around the planet Earth. Luca, the fearless investigator, has returned from another trip to Earth, and he's having just a little trouble keeping his balance.
What's the matter, Luca? Has one of your wheels jammed?
One of his wheels? One of his wheels? There's nothing wrong with his wheels. It's that new oil he's using. It's gone to his head.
No, it's nothing like that. It happens whenever I come back from Earth. It gets very bumpy in the probe.
Oh, why is that?
I don't know, really. When I travel quickly, to get away from Earth, it gets very bumpy. It doesn't happen in space.
The reason is that the probe is designed to fly in space and not in the air which surrounds the Earth.
Is it serious?
I don't think so, Ponder, but I think it would be best if Luca returned to Earth and investigated.
But that's just sending him into trouble.
Don't worry, Ponder. It's all right if I don't travel too fast.
As you go, Luca, describe for us what it is like to fly through space and what the difference is when you fly on Earth.
On my way. When I fly in space, once I've set off in the right direction, I don't need my engines. I just carry on going in the same direction. I only use my engines when I need to change direction.
That's right. There is nothing in space to slow you down. If you did not use your engines, you would go on in the same direction forever.
Forever? Forever? Oh, just you start those engines, Luca, and get onto a course for Earth where we can be sure we can get you back.
Changing course for Earth now. Here I can feel a force pushing against the probe, trying to slow it down.
That is the force of the air pushing against you.
The engines, Luca. What about the engines?
Well, to keep going, I have to use my engines all the time to push against the force of the air. If I turned the engines off, I'd just slow down and stop. And of course, if I try to go very fast, the probe starts shaking.
Before you do anything like that, Luca, I think we'd better find out more about moving through the air. What do you think we should do, AI?
I think Luca should begin by looking at the machines that human creatures use to travel in.
On my way. Human creatures seem to do most of their travelling in boxes. The biggest boxes are flat-fronted lorries, and they're the slowest. The smaller boxes, the cars, move more quickly. They're more rounded, and they have sloping fronts. Their trains are also box-shaped. These flat-fronted ones are moving quite slowly. But this one has a rounded front, and it's moving very much faster. Their aeroplanes are flying boxes. They're long and thin, very rounded at the front, but they're pointed at the back. Once they leave the ground, they travel very quickly through the air.
So, Luca has identified these four shapes.
I know. If the flat-fronted boxes are slow, perhaps like Luca, they must find it hard to push their way through the air.
Well, that would mean that the rounded and pointed boxes must slip through the air more easily. Perhaps the probe is the wrong shape.
Those are very good ideas to test. I have programmed the probe to visit a laboratory where they do just that.
What have you found, Luca?
There are lots of different shapes here.
That's right. Now, if Luca can fix the flat plate into place... This is a wind tunnel. A big fan drives the air through the tunnel, and in order to see it moving, the engineers use smoke. The air swirls around. The more the air swirls, the greater the force of the air.
So, if the air pushes with quite a force on a flat plate, it must be difficult for a shape like this to move quickly through the air.
But why, if there's a big force pushing on the front of the plate, does it show up as swirling at the back?
That's a very good question. But I'm afraid that science is not always what you might think it should be. You will have to take my word that the swirling at the back shows a force on the front.
What happens if you turn the plate sideways?
You can see there's not much swirling now. The force isn't so big.
So, if things were shaped like flat plates, they would be able to move through the air very easily.
Yes, but if their travelling machines were flat, the human creatures wouldn't be able to get any passengers or goods into them.
That's right. That's why the human creatures' machines are box-shaped. If Luca can fix a flat-fronted box shape into the wind tunnel...
So, with a box shape, there's a lot of swirling, which means there's a big force pushing on the front of the box, which is why it can't travel quickly.
So, if a flat front causes a lot of swirling, perhaps a rounded front would make a difference.
The cars that travel fast and the train that travels fast have rounded fronts, so it should make a difference.
If we fix a rounded front onto the box, Luca...
Well, there is a small improvement, but there's still a lot of swirling.
Just a minute, just a minute. The aeroplane was rounded at the front, but it was also pointed at the back. Perhaps that makes a difference.
That is a good idea, Zippy. Let's see what changing the shape at the back does, Luca.
That's it, that's it. There's no swirling.
Oh, so because there's no swirling, there's very little force on a shape like this.
So, it must be very easy for this shape to move through the air.
That's right. It is called a streamlined shape, and this is why aeroplanes can travel so fast through the air.
But what about Luca? He's not a streamlined shape.
Well, I think we had better test the probe in the wind tunnel. Are you ready, Luca?
I'm ready.
Because the probe was not designed to fly through the air, there is a lot of swirling.
But the shakes. What about the shakes?
This requires another test. I have arranged for the probe to be held in a special frame. But before we begin the test, you should know that on Earth, the wind is always changing. Sometimes it is strong, and sometimes it is gentle. You never know what it is going to do next. Just like the air that comes from this fan.
Wow! Wow! How does that grab you, Luca?
This is a very good test. It is exactly what happens, but it doesn't usually last as long as this. I think
What's the matter, Luca? Oh, Luca!
It's all right, it's the probe. It isn't the best shape to fly through the air. We'll have to do something about it.
Zippy, Luca's not well. Before we decide to do anything, we want him back here to make sure he's all right. Then we'll look at all this again.
I'm all right, Wanda.
Oh, do be careful.
On my way.